was my biggest hurdle. A lot of times, especially as Christian women, we fight about it. We shouldn't have it. We're Christians and we have faith. Yeah, we're Christians and we have faith, but that doesn't mean that we still don't suffer. So for me, the biggest thing for me was to recognize that I had it. And once I knew that I had it, and I was able to find out when it would come, and I was able to figure out how I rolled with it, and I got to know myself, I was able to deal with it a little bit better. I was able to, and I like to tell other people when I talk to you, if they have issues, it's kind of like surfing, or it's kind of like floating. You just have to ride the wave. If you're able to recognize when it's coming, you can kind of just relax your body and just go with it and ride it out. Because I think the more that you fight it, the worse it gets. I know when I used to have my panic attacks, I used to panic. My body would just go in overdrive and the panic attack would come on, and then I would panic because of the panic attack and forget about it. And it got worse. But my biggest thing is to relax and to go with it, and to know that this is for a moment, this is for a time, and I will get through with it. And I pray, and I have a list actually that I keep in my Bible, and I'm going to show you really quick. And these are a bunch of verses, and if you want, I'm going to hold this right here in case you want to screenshot it. You can screenshot it right now. This was something that I made up after I came home from the hospital with heart failure. And for those of you I had my postpartum depression, but if that wasn't enough, after my 7th baby, 5 days after, I went into severe heart failure, and the doctors didn't know if I was going to live. I didn't know if I was going to live, and I was admitted in the hospital. And I'll never forget, I was in the cardiac care unit, and there was everyone was over 80. And there was people dying, and the nurse would come in and they'd keep my door closed and they keep my blinds closed to the hallways, because they would spend literally all night running up and down the hallways with coding people, people coding. And I remember I was transferred from one hospital to another, and I'm going past the room, and the whole family's crying in the hallway, and I'm like, oh, this is the hall where you apparently die. Oh, that's nice. And I didn't know if I was going to make it out of there alive or not. And I was scared. I didn't know. This is mommy chat, boys. Are we having boys in here? Oh, yeah. Oh, do you have depression? Do you have postpartum depression? It's all right. They're fine. They're behaving. Okay, as long as you behave. And so I didn't know if I was going to live. So I had extreme fear. As a matter of fact, I couldn't pray. I didn't, and call me bad or whatever, but I couldn't pray. I didn't have clarity. I did, and that was at that time. That's when my Aaron's and hers came alongside, and they lifted my arms for me, because I couldn't. I couldn't do it, and I just cried, and literally my eyes were swollen out to here, and so when I came home from the hospital, I still didn't know if I recovered. I made this list, and I hung it on my cabinet. It was actually this cabinet that's right up there. And every time I would cook, because this is where I do all my main cooking, I would read it, and I would say it, and I would say it over and over and over again. And I would be like, I got to get through this, because I was afraid to go to sleep. I was afraid I wouldn't wake up again. I was on 7 medications 2 times a day. And I knew, and a lot of people do lose faith during times like that. I clung to it. A lot of great Christian women, I don't know why they do that. For me personally, I never said why or wondered why. I just clung to him because he's all I had at that time. And I was just desperate. I really was desperate. I was bargaining with him. I was ready to I'll give you $20. Just let me live another, I was desperate. And I wanted to raise my babies. I wanted to see my new baby, So this was my thing that helped me through a lot, and I would read it every day. And I actually put 2 verses together. I made my own Bible verse. And one of them came out of Psalms 119, 114. And the beginning of this verse is, I have put my hope in your word. And then there's another verse in Psalms, and forgive me, I don't have it right now. And I pieced that one, and I put it with this one at the bottom, and I made my own verse, and I would pray that. And I don't know if that's, but hey, it worked for me. But the whole thing was, I have put my hope in your word that you would watch over my life. And that was a very specific verse that I pieced together that I made myself. And I prayed it. And it said, I am hoping. I put my hope in your word because you will watch over my life. And that's what I prayed. And I went through, I had a lot, my anxiety got 100 times worse after this. After my heart condition, really just read that verse last week, right? After my heart condition, I was having constant, it got so bad I would call the doctor and he would tell me to take a Xanax. Not because I was crazy, but because I was so worked up. And I would take a Xanax and I would go to sleep because I was just so out of control, because I'd feel I still had symptoms from it as I was healing, and I didn't know if my symptoms were the healing or if my symptoms were getting worse. And so I would have anxiety attacks going to the doctor. I couldn't handle going to the doctor. I still do. I still tear up and I still have anxiety. I still get worried and I get nervous and I sit in the cardiologist's office. It's been 3 years. I have to take a Xanax every day. See, it's real. And I would go nuts and I would have to take a Xanax and the Xanax would knock me out and I would calm down and I'd be able to think clear and function. My body just needed to reset. It needed to reset. And sometimes I still get like that. Now, as I get older, flying, if I have to fly alone, forget it. Just simple things that I wouldn't think. So if I have to maybe drive somewhere that I'm not familiar with, that could get me crazy. Or sometimes I'll just have bad days. It depends. You just never know when it's going to come up. But that's some of the things that I do to help myself feel better are these Bible verses. I wear, you guys know, I've told you this. This is a washer. The chatty mommy gave this to me. It's missing one of my children because I keep having them and nobody can keep up with buying me things with my kids on them because I kept having children. But this has my name's on it. And the chatty mommy gave this to me when I had my Penelope. And then, right, there she is. I still wear it, Rachel. And this one is from Heidi St. John. And I put these two together and they stay over it's a reminder for me. I play with them, it's a reminder. And this is fearless, it's engraved on it. And there's a verse on it, 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says, God did not give us a spirit of fear. So whenever I play with it or whenever I'm scared, I think of that verse. That God didn't give us a spirit of fear. Fear is a human emotion. It's real. But what am I going to do with that? And that's what I think about when I play with this and when I'm scared. It's a part of life, fear. But what am I going to do with it? And how am I going to channel it? And God is reminding me, I didn't give you that spirit of fear. I gave you power and I gave you self-discipline. So what are you going to do with that self-discipline? And I'm going to train myself. I'm going to train my mind to not have a spirit of fear. So when that spirit of fear comes, it's up to me because God didn't give that to me. He gave me self-discipline. He gave me love. And so I'm going to retrain my mind and I'm going to retrain my thoughts. And that's how I deal on a perfect day. That's how I deal with my anxiety. That's how I deal with my depression. When I have those down days and when I have those days where I just don't want to get out of bed, ride that wave. You too. When you have those days where you just, my God, you hear those kids on the other side of the door and they're like, Ma! And you're like, oh God, I can't. Just ride the wave. Ride it. Because tomorrow's not going to be like today. It's for a moment. This is your present. It's not your future. Pray through it. Ride the wave. It's going to get better. And I know many of us hide in the closet, and that's fine if that's what you need to do. I know me, sometimes too much overstimulation gets me nuts. I go psycho. I need just to reset alone in my room with quiet to think, and that's okay. But I would love to hear your ideas. What do you do when you are having one of those days where you don't want to get out of bed, when you want to hide in the closet? Wendy Warner, I don't know if you're here. And I know, and I'm sorry if I keep on talking about the same people, but you guys need to scope because I'm talking about the people that scope. And Wendy scopes several times a day. And I know that Wendy, she's been very open and honest with her struggle. Yes, overstimulation. And she's been good to watch. She has scoped from her closet before, and she shares how she is extremely tired and extremely overwhelmed sometimes. 4th of July was one of those days. And so if you have time, go check out her, Wendy Warner. She's in Mommy Scopes on Facebook too, and her Twitter handle is in the group. So you should exercise. Yes, exercise is a wonderful way. Get out. I know when I was suffering from depression and anxiety, my good days were days when I was outside, when I was talking to people, when I wasn't alone and isolated in my room. And sometimes the hardest part is getting up, but that is the best thing that you can do. Take those kids outside, drag them out, even if you have to. I remember just going for walks with the stroller up and down the block, and I'd just be like in a coma, but I knew that I had to get outside. And exercising really is one of the best things that you can do for it. Anyone else have anything that they'd like to add as far as what they do to help beat those bad days, or anything? I would love to hear. I have a challenge for you though. Taking a walk at beach before sunset, that helps. Oh, I wish. I don't live near the beach, but I have mountains. I live near the mountains, and they're beautiful. And I have birds. I have bird feeders that I put right by my window, and I'm like the old lady that likes to watch the birds. So I love watching the birds. And I have a dog that I love. My dog's great. My kids are great. I love it. I spend time with my family. Naming my day has helped. Absolutely. If you guys have not joined Unicorn Beauty, her name is Pepper Ferguson. Please forgive me if the last name is wrong. But she does a challenge on Facebook called Name Your PS Challengers, and it's Name Your Day. And every day you name your day. And I've started to do it, and I've loved it. And it's you name your day based on how you want your day to go. And everyone's come up with really original names. Mine, I think I'm going to name, I had a name for tomorrow. So please, everyone, name your day. Start thinking about your day when you hit your head on the pillow, when you go to sleep for the next day. Okay, I know my name. I know my name for tomorrow. I'm going to name my tomorrow. And today was Reset. That is awesome. Pepper had a very busy weekend. Her son ended up in the ER. A smoke bomb exploded in his hand, and she's been sick, so she's had it rough. Name your day. My day tomorrow is going to be challenge, because I'm going to challenge you. I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to share your story. And I don't want to push anybody out of their comfort zone, but I want to challenge you to think about sharing your story, maybe in a scope or in a blog or on Facebook or even in our Facebook group. Our Facebook group are members only for Mommy Scopes, so it's not open to the world. And if you feel like you're in a safe place there, I would love for you to share your story, to be bold and to be Aaron's and to be hers and to come alongside of each other and lift each other's arms. Don't cry, Kristen. He's healing the love challenge. Yes, yes. So I challenge you to tell your story. And if you're going to scope about it, let us know so that we can come in and we can support you. Because it's hard telling a story because you never know what people are going to say about it. And I just felt lately that I don't know. I haven't even been on Facebook lately. I used to love Facebook. Facebook was my outlet for being at home a lot. I worked from home. I'm home with the kids. I don't get out a lot. Like, I'm a homebody. You do bless a lot of people when you share. Absolutely. So Facebook was my place to go. And between Facebook and the news, it's just, I put up a picture and it said, my Facebook looks like a war broke out between the Confederates and a skillet factory, and everybody's throwing words here and everybody's fighting with everybody there. And I'm just so tired of it. And we live in a world where we're at the peak of everything, and it's just so discouraging and it's so disheartening. And at the end of the day, I don't think we've ever had a more lonelier generation than the generation that we're in. We suffer in silence. Depression is at a sky-high rate. Suicide is sky-high rate. And it's because we're missing those relationships, those really, yes, clean out that feed, absolutely. We're missing that real relationship with each other. And so I only allow positive. That's true. That's good. I need to clean out my feed. So that's why I really have been enjoying Mommy Scopes. Lost 2 friends in 2 years to suicide, both men. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness. I know. I've lost a few friends to suicide, and you know what? One of them was a girl I grew up with, and I was friends with her, and it had to do with, she suffered many years with depression, and it was bad. And she suffered a lot, and she suffered in silence. And she had a man that loved her to death, and she had a good life. She had a really good life, but it doesn't matter what you have. It's what's going on in here. And no one needs to suffer in silence, because there's plenty of us that are suffering alongside with you. And that's why we're here. We're here to encourage and support each other. But that's it. I just wanted to come and share that with you. That's been something that's been weighing on my heart a lot. And I didn't know how to address it. And I'm sorry if I seemed a little bit off tonight, because I wanted to say the right words. And I didn't want to offend anybody when I said that I didn't want to empower. Because empowering is great, but it's not who I am. I don't have that. I don't have that ability. Only God can give you that power, but I can help you, and you can help me, and we can encourage each other, and we're going to be Aaron's, and we're going to be hers, and we're going to be holding up those arms, and together we're going to be looking up to find out what we need to do. And I want to thank you girls for this community, and I've been struggling back and forth with some things as far as, I'll talk about it another night, but I believe that with every negative in life, there's a positive. And I believe you, the Mommy Scopes community, has been a positive. And I know there's been lots of things about Periscope. Some people love it, some people don't. But you girls have been a blessing to me, and I love it. I love that Dawn hosts Perry Church on Sunday. Well, she doesn't host it, but she invited us in. I love that my friends in real life are becoming friends with each other, and my blogging, everybody's mixing together, and I think it's been a blessing. And I don't know what I did a month ago without you girls. So I just want to thank you for opening up your home to me and allowing me to speak, and for you to be friends with me. I just want to thank you, because out of sometimes very negative things comes such beauty, and I think Mommy Scopes is that. And I want to thank you for that, and I want to thank you for supporting me and my jabberness. But tomorrow, I'm taking my kids to the movies, the dollar movies. We can't wait. So I'm going to be doing my Mommy Scopes in the morning at 9. It's going to be really, really, really quick, but we'll be back tomorrow night for Mommy Scopes Confessions. And feel free, if you want to talk further about anything, to message me on Facebook. I'm there, or anyone else. I'm going to put up an email. I have a Mommy Scopes email. The movie, I know, right? I'm going to a cartoon, so I shouldn't need a nap, which is good. See? Okay, let's talk about anxiety. I got that was anxiety I had at Jurassic World, okay? It's all it was anxiety, and I had to come home and crash after a nap. I did. But I'm going to put up an email address. It's a Mommy Scopes email. And if you feel like you need to email me for anything, please feel free to email me. I'm not going to put it up here because there's so many other people there. I'm going to put it up in the safe place in the group so I don't get some weird people emailing me. So email me if you want my cousin Dawn. She is a licensed counselor. If you want Dawn to read it, let me know, and just put Dawn in the subject, and I'll send it off to her to read. I'll forward it to her. I won't even read it if it's private. But if you need anything, I'm here for you girls, and I love you girls, and thank you so much. I want you to have a magical night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.